Welcome back to Sahara TV. My name is Rudolf Okonkwo. This is the Skype call segment when we give you the chance to give us feedback on some of the shows we've been presenting to you. I hope you've been watching and I hope you've been enjoying our show today. We'll start by reading for you a quote from the Saturday Tribune, today's Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, talking about what happened in the last days of the election countdown. So it says that it was learned that as of 5 p.m. on Tuesday, hawks around the president were still at the Aso Rock presidential villa, piling pressure on him not to concede defeat. Those working on him to concede and bow out, reportedly led by the former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, were also said to have stayed put in the same villa, persuading him that it was the most honorable way to go, since it was clear that figures from the field were not in his favor. Now, this is, they were talking about the president and the idea of him conceding, which has been an issue Nigerians have been discussing since the end of the election. Now we are going to talk to our Skype callers on this and so many other issues. Joining us now is Yemi in Canada. Yemi, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you, Rudolph. Thank you, Rudolph.
From UK, we have Bishop. Bishop, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you, Rudolph.
And from Portugal, we have Ash. Ash, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you, Rudolph.
All right. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you guys. So let's start, Yemi. Let me start with the issue of conceding defeat and what that means. What does that mean for you? Yemi, that's for you. Yemi in Canada. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I'm saying, do you buy the idea that for the president to concede, he's a hero now and a statesman? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think is overblown. Yeah, he did a good thing by conceding, but now turn into an hero, I think is just overblown. He did a good thing, don't get me wrong, but it's been overblown.
Okay, Bishop, what do you think?
Well, I quite disagree with Yemi. Sorry to say that, because literally the much anticipated what would have become of Nigeria, merely making that move by Jonathan, he should be acclaimed as a hero. So that's my take, sir.
Okay, Ash in Portugal, what do you think?
Yeah, I cannot say I cannot call a Goodluck Jonathan a hero or to ask for Nobel Prize for him. But we can only comment, it's a commendable, the action is commendable, but that is, of course, what we expect. But somebody needs to look for the sub-landing, because the power in the government is no longer power since after, during the military dictatorship end. So now the power is on the hand of the people. So when people vote it out, so you just need to look for the sub-landing. And already I told a lot of people, even my friends here in Portugal, that our President Goodluck Jonathan got only two options. It's either to call the army to take over so that he can cause the chaos in the country, or to have to look for a sub-landing whereby he can hand over peacefully. So he chose that one. So it's a commendable.
Okay. So, all right, we can move on. I want us to go a little bit back and try to analyze, why did he lose? Yemi, why do you think that the president lost this election?
Well, his losing is, there's so many factors that come to play in his losing. One could say performance is one of it. Two is his international image is really not that good. Three, people clamored for change. The reality on ground is in the north, in the southwest, southeast, people wanted change. And before the election, I come on to this forum, and we have people coming here saying that no, the reality is people prefer Jonathan. The reality has proven right now that people don't want him there.
Okay, Bishop, let me come to you because as Harry Dokubo said that Jonathan lost because there was a conspiracy between the North and the Southwest. Is that your reading of why he lost?
Rudolph, to be fair, to be honest with you, I don't reckon with anything that. Sorry, I don't mean to use that word. Do I use the word immoral? Sorry to say, I don't mean to hurt him. I don't want to reckon with such threat words. So the reason why Jonathan, I actually wrote an article. The reason why Jonathan lose, number one, it was harder to ring. The election was harder to rig. And like Jeremiah said, people yearn for change. And this change replicated and it reflected in the election. Two, the issue of insecurity, that's the Boko Haram. People have, the Northerner, if you look at the number of voters he got from the North, it's enough. A million of people, thousands of people went underground as a result of insecurity. Then again, the united opposition the united opposition crumbled the PDP. People, the APC was very united, and what I described that in my article, a united winning machine. And again, number four, I said, economic. If you look at the economy, it's been sabotaged. In Africa, Nigeria being one of the biggest oil producing countries, look at what we are going on with. So national income due to grow by 5% is now falling each year, which is not good enough for the country. Then lastly, I said time for change. APC supporter charted change wherever they went. It was seen and caught in the mood. The PDP has no power since end of the military. After ruling for 16 years, I think people actually needed that change. They clamor for that change. That is what they got. Thank you.
Okay, Ash, Kayemo, the lawyer, said that what happened on Saturday was a revolution. Do you think it was a revolution?
Yes, bloodless revolution. Yes, I can call it that way. So it's a bloodless revolution because Goodluck Jonathan lost at the grassroots, and he doesn't realize. He just realized quite late, because he was surrounded by the psychopaths, and these psychopaths, they are around with him, and they didn't tell him what is really happening at the grassroots, and Jonathan really believed with them. So any president that did do next time the same mistake like what Jonathan did, this thing will happen to him. So why we call it bloodless? Because he chose the honorable path to hand the power peacefully, so which is quite good. And actually, all of them, the PDP, they lost from the grassroots. So, and talking about with the Kubo, this thing saying that North and South, they combine together. This is a electric calculation, because any party can do the calculation how they're going to win the election. So in Nigeria, as you know, we have our 6 different regions. So definitely you need to do your calculation, your party to be accepted from the grassroots, from the 4 out of 6. So definitely you're going to win. So you cannot expect somebody to get accepted from the Southwest and Northwest and to expect that guy to lose. This is dreaming. Yeah.
Okay, Yemi, so what do you now expect the incoming government, what do you expect from them to do to deal with all the issues in Nigeria?
Yeah, Nigerian problem is very complex, but as complex as it is, it's very easy to solve. Nigerian people are very peaceful, loving people, and very aggressive, great human capital, and abundant of resources. So right now, what I expect the president-elect to do when he gets to office is, the first thing is to secure the borders. Security should be top on the agenda. Boko Haram should be a gone story. Then corruption should be second in line. Then third is creating a pool of employment, solving employment issues. Then corruption ties to so many things. If corruption can be not eradicated, completed, but reduced to a minimal level, a lot of other things, a lot of other industries would come up, and things will start moving in the right direction. And our international image needs to be corrected already. With this election gone, the international image is really has boosted Nigeria so much. And if we go through that, everything will just fall in place.
All right, Bishop, we know that the Nigeria's, what is it called? The foreign reserve is continues to drop every month. We're not sure how much money will be there when the Buhari administration, when they take over on May 29th. So how do you think, with falling prices of oil, how do you think the government is going to fulfill some of the promises they made?
Well, Rudolph, that's a good question. But like I said in my article, I said 5% of our national income continues to fall by 5% each month. But be that it may, the oil revenue, if you look at it, is not because of Nigeria situation. This oil stuff is all around the world, even to the Croatia, to the Kuwait, and what have you, those oil producing nations, oil has fallen. But I think with what is on ground, with so much corruption that has dipping into Jonathan administration, which is obvious to everyone, I think they might not. The government coming, the next president, which is Jonathan, the next administration, I don't think they might have enough resources. This is where I've always said that because they've stolen so much. The money they've accumulated by themselves to get so much for themselves. The next government, they might not have enough resources to actually carry out what they have actually planned to do. This is my concern. Yeah.
Okay, Ash. In an interview with the BBC, Buhari played down expectations, including on issue like Boko Haram, where he made it clear that there won't be magic. Do you think that he has a lot of time to act, to convince people that he's there to change things?
Yes, he got time, that because we don't generally in Nigeria we don't expect a magic, but we expect a commitment. So in Nigeria, it's easy to change things from back to from front to back or back to front by determining who by your team and showing action. So Buhari needs to show a really strong commitment through the police and the army, and he really needs to differentiate the function of the police and the army. And the police really need to respect the civilian, to be that the civilian, they are their friends. Then the army need to do their job by protecting our territory and our country and fighting the terrorism. So by doing so, people will definitely believe Buhari where he's heading to. And he needs to relinquish most of this airline that he's using, budget for the food that he eats, because he's there as a civil servant for the people, not to rule people, you know. So even the office of the wife lady, we need to put them either in order or to see, because there's no office. It's not constitutional right to be the office of the first lady in Nigeria, because that is where the highest corruption taking place. Even if Jonathan, if the president, even is going to fight the corruption, but the people can equally go behind door, through his wife, through his children, through a lot of things to see how they can get their contract signed. So he needs to fight from there. From home, charity begin at home. When he did that, then definitely people will believe him.
All right, Yemi, next Saturday we have another election, which is for governorship and state houses of assembly. Is there any particular one you are watching?
I'm watching everything.
Okay, tell me what's going on in Lagos. Everything. What's going on in Lagos?
Yeah, Lagos is a tussle between Jimmy Agbaje and Ambode. And Jimmy Agbaje, he crossed to PDP from Labour Party, and he's contested several times before and lost. And but when I was in Lagos in January, I noticed that a lot of people, they tend to move away, that we're not voting for the party, we want to vote for the individual. that Jimmy Agbaje, they will vote for APC in the federal and vote PDP in the states because Jimmy Agbaje is in PDP. So, however, to be frank, continuity goes a long way. And if you see what the current government has done in Lagos State, they've achieved a lot. I won't say they are 100% there, but they're on the right track. And it's going to be a very tight race. And let's wait and see. But because I'm very confident during the presidential election that Buhari will, but in the state level, I would say let time will just tell. But my support is for Ambody anyway, because I'm a party member.
Yeah. Okay, Bishop, you are from Edo State. What's happening in Delta State? Now, it's a neighboring state to Edo. Do you know what's happening there?
Well, to be fair with you, I've not really been following what is happening in Delta State, but in my state, I can't quite tell.
Okay, go on. What's going on in your state? I know you don't have election for governor, do you? You don't?
We don't have.
Okay.
But with the House of Assembly, which I am mostly concerned about, election was conducted in several parts of the country, several parts of the state, which some members, the PDP, especially people like Lawrence Ogieva, people like pharmacist Matthew Orohigbe, won election that the incumbent government, the deputy governor of Edo State, Pius Odubu, have to call the INEC chairman to say that the election should be postponed. Which this is going to, if this is not called, this is going to cause a mayhem in that local government, because the people on ground said election was said, and everybody saw what transpired. This election, people that was declared winner at the initial stage, they were the winner. They saw, everybody saw this thing. But to my greatest surprise, how could they have called an INEC chairman, consent to that and suspend the election? It's a really concern, and the whole world is watching. And I'm putting an article for this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Ash, what do you think will be the impact of the presidential election on the governorship election coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, going to be a great impact, and that is what the APC are now educating people. So can only maybe the majority from the northwest, southwest, and the northeast, and the other listen maybe will not have much impact, because a lot of people, they know where they are heading to. But when you look at what happened at Rivers and the Bayelsa, so it will change a lot of things, because they will not use police and army to rig or to cause trouble in that region. So definitely things will change, but nobody know who's going to win, because rigging happen where you have a 60 to 40% in between, or 65 to 45%, 55 to 45%. So that is where generally you're going to have a trouble of election violence or rigging. When it's places whereby you have APC like Sokoto or Kano, you have 80 to 20% or 90 to 10%. That one we cannot have
rigging. That's a good point. All right, Yemi, so, we are running out of time. Let me ask you this question before we round up. There is now a fight in the Senate and maybe in the House over who should be the Senate president and who should be the speaker. It happens that the Southeast did not elect anybody in APC for the Senate or the House. And now David Mark, according to some reports, is trying to see if they could get him back as the Senate president. And then Saraki is the one that is being tipped as the new Senate president. What do you think about that situation?
Yeah, well, I'm not really, it's all good. Eventually somebody's going to come out. APC is holding the majority of the Senate seats right now, and I believe their caucus would come together and have their meetings, and eventually, APC is going to have an upper hand. I don't expect David Mark to be the president after his long tenure, and I'm confident that APC will come with the right leader.
All right, we really have to round up because this is Easter weekend and a lot of people are interested in going home and spending it with their families. So, Bishop, let me ask you finally, is there anything keeping you up at night anymore?
Well, always, if there's anything keeping me up at night, it's always been God and the faith I have in my walk of faith, to my commitment to my serving God, and that's what is keeping me up at night. If there's anything that bothers my heart, I pray about it. But related that to Nigeria and Nigeria as a whole, we should learn to put sentiment aside. We should learn to put political affiliation or religion. Let's be united and let's raise a voice that will unite, remain Nigeria as united nation. That's my concern.
All right. Ash in Portugal, what's keeping you up at night?
Yeah, just keep comparing, talking to people. Let's have from up federal down to downtown. Let's have everything APC sacked so that we can help Buhari to change the distance, because the president really need the support from the House. Majority need from the upper house and the lower house, and really need the support from the governors. So if there is a lot of problem from the federal and the state, majority are PDP opposition, so they're going to have a lot of challenges actually. So when we have, even when you vote a lot of people in the APC governors, so even if the governor doesn't want to perform definitely because of what he sees happening in the central, so he can tight his belt to serve for the people.
All right, thank you so much. Yemi, what's keeping you up at night?
Well, I was up from Friday last week till Tuesday. That was a long overnight shift. Anyway, right now, the future is really what's keeping me up at night. And I think this is the right time. Nigerians, not only in Nigeria, but Nigerians all across the world should join hands with the current government and try and move this country forward, try and create employment for those looking for job, try and make a difference. We have millionaires outside Nigeria. I think we all need to come together and bring this nation to the right status it deserves.
All right, thank you so much. I want to thank all our guests today, Yemi in Canada. Yemi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, always.
Bishop in UK. Bishop, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, brother.
And Ash in Portugal. Ash, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you very much for the invite. I'm always ready for you.
All right.
Nice.
We have come to the end of our show today. We want to thank all our guests for joining us, and all the technical hands and all the staff of SaharaTV. On behalf of everybody here, we say Happy Easter to you. Remember to join us on Saturday for the coverage of the governorship election. We'll be here from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. So until then, enjoy your day. Happy Easter, and thank you so much.